SUV. These three letters have captivated the masses, and everyone seems to want something brawny, rugged, and versatile. From the mid-size segment to the luxury space, there are quite a few offerings to choose from. But what about the entry-level buyer?
Don't worry, manufacturers have thought about the entry-level buyer as well. And that's why they created the new micro SUV segment. Well, at least it wasn't much of a segment until recently, at least until that car came along.
Exactly, and Tata saw an opportunity there and launched an entire new segment altogether with the Tata Punch. It is more than a grown hatchback, but smaller than a full-grown SUV. And it is available at an attractive price point.
But there are subcompact SUVs that have been offering all of that at an attractive price point. Let's take the Nissan Magnite for instance. Good styling, nice features, lots of rugged appeal, this SUV has to offer.
So it was only fair that we compare these two small SUVs to see which one offers more value. And to make this a level playing field, we compared the Punch with the non-turbo variant of the Magnite.
We really wanted the KIGER to be here as well for this comparison, but Renault did not have a naturally aspirated version to lend us. But when you think of it, the Magnite and the KIGER share the same underpinnings and also come from the same assembly line. And barring a few features, they both are very identical models. So the big question is, which of these small SUVs serves a better package for you? Let's find out.
Both the Tata Punch and the Nissan Magnite tick mark all the boxes when it comes to styling. Both are distinctly different in design, but offer the same elements like boxy proportions, upright pillars and sharp lines. There are plenty of black plastics all over for the rugged appeal, and the pronounced wheel arches make for an attractive road presence. On the styling front then, you won't go wrong with either. But it's the Magnite that's the larger SUV here, at nearly 4 meters long, with the Punch a whole 167mm short in comparison. The Magnite is wider too, but the Punch is taller by a small margin. Both SUVs ride on 16-inch wheels in the top variant, with wide tires that offer plenty of bling. When it comes to build quality, both the Magnite and the Punch do feel built to cost. But it's the Tata that offers a more premium and solid feel. The SUV buyer, however, craves ground clearance. The need to tackle bad roads and sometimes no roads is strong. And the Magnite impresses here too. Its ground clearance is on par with the bigger SUVs, while the Punch sits marginally lower in comparison. However, when it comes to the real world, the Punch does not feel compromising at all. It tackles bad roads with ease and the suspension does not bottom out. Interior plastics are decent enough on both cars, but the Punch gets the more premium looking dashboard. Despite the Magnite's wheelbase being only 5mm longer, it offers substantially more cabin space over the Punch. The Nissan offers better second row legroom too. And as for luggage capacity, the Punch offers 366 litres of boot space as opposed to the Magnite's 336 litres. Impressive indeed, given the smaller footprint. Both SUVs offer a commanding view of the road, and all-round visibility is great too. The Magnite does one better though, with its 360-degree camera.
Now the Tata Punch is a well-loaded car. You get features like a part digital, part analog instrument console, which is quite informative. You also get a 7-inch touchscreen display which comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And in terms of convenience features, you get a multi-function flat bottom steering wheel with cruise control over here and Bluetooth function, and you also get push button start for engine start stop option. You also get an automatic climate control on this Punch, and for the driver's side window you get a one touch down function. Although the one issue that we do have with the Tata Punch is the infotainment system itself, which has a bit of latency issues, and it's not very intuitive also.
And that is the case with the Magnite's 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system as well. Graphics aren't the best, and so is the intuitiveness of the screen. But this is the bigger cabin, and there are plenty of things to like. The instrument console is all digital, and I do like the graphics on that. And I do like the premium fabric upholstery here. The feature list is quite extensive as well, and you get push button start stop, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, a JBL sound system, cruise control, and so much more. Compared to the Punch though, what you do get here is an auto up and down function on the driver's side window, a center armrest, and rear AC vents.
Things are neck and neck so far. But how are these small SUVs when the road gets going? The Magnite's 1-litre naturally aspirated motor makes lesser power over the Punch, but it's far more eager to perform, with power kicking down from lower RPMs.
Now we are driving the non-turbo variant of the Magnite, and this is actually quite on par with the Punch, which is also a naturally aspirated motor. This is a 1-litre one, that is a 1.2-litre version. But what really works here is that despite making less power, I do think it is able to keep up with the Punch, at least in city limits. I am not missing the turbo within city limits, and that really makes this a good engine to live with. And I reckon a lot of the buyers in the entry-level SUV space will be looking for something that's more city-friendly. Even the gearbox is good enough for the city, shifts are smooth, it's easy, if not extremely quick, and that really makes it a good package.
The Magnite misses out on an automatic transmission with the naturally aspirated motor, which the Punch and even the KIGER offer. And buyers do appreciate the convenience. But the Punch gets the bigger engine and more power than the Magnite.
Tata Punch is certainly a peppy car. The 1.2-litre engine feels eager right from the word go, and it makes for a great city car. In fact, it can also do those occasional highway runs without breaking any sweat. In terms of transmission options, you get a 5-speed manual unit, which is the one we are driving today, and you also get an optional AMT unit, but we would say that the manual version is more fun to drive.
The Punch's motor also works harder on the road. Both SUVs offer better power delivery in the low and mid-range, but the Tata performs slightly better at the top end of the power band. Both engines also get noisy over 3,500 RPM. Handling on the Punch is much better than the Magnite, and it's certainly the sportier SUV of the two.
In terms of handling, the Tata Punch handles like a charm, and we really love it. The steering too has a nice heft to it, but it lacks a bit of feedback. The suspension is set a bit on the softer side, so it can handle all the undulations on the road pretty nicely. And the ride also is not as bouncy as the one on the Magnite.
The Magnite's steering offers neutral feedback, and the ride comfort is one of the better ones in the subcompact SUV segment.
Now the Magnite, just like the Punch, gets a softer suspension setup, and it absorbs undulations with ease. Bad roads, on tarmac, it just does a phenomenal job, and very little actually translates into the cabin. But it is a tad bit bouncy setup when compared to the Punch. I think the Punch is a little bit firmer, and I do like that because on open roads and at higher speeds, the Punch actually delivers better ride quality when compared to the Magnite. And with respect to body roll as well, despite the Punch being the taller car here, it is more evident on the Magnite.
Both small SUVs come with dual front airbags as standard along with ABS and EBD, reverse parking camera and reverse parking sensors. The Punch also gets corner stability control and traction pro mode on the AMT version. The naturally aspirated Magnite misses out on a few features like vehicle dynamic control and hill start assist that are reserved for the turbo automatic version. Let's not forget, the Punch is also one of the safest cars to be built in India with a 5-star global NCAP safety rating, whereas the Magnite has been tested by the ASEAN NCAP and received a 4-star safety rating. The Tata Punch and the Nissan Magnite measure quite close. While the Magnite is from a segment above, its super competitive pricing gives it a stronghold. The Tata SUV though feels like a step above hatchbacks, but does feel priced at a slight premium. Prices aside, the Magnite's spacious cabin and comfortable ride will be liked by many. That made this comparison closer than we ever thought. But the Tata Punch feels sturdier, offers better performance and a bigger boot. It also emerges as a better thought out package for the entry level buyer. So if you want something smaller than the Magnite, well, this is your car.